Well, happy Father's Day. Guys, don't look so excited. It's the one day a year when we can say happy Father's Day. You get a tie. And you know what else? You may get to cook food on the grill today. I mean, is there anything better than meat on a grill? No, I didn't think so. Alright, so what do you guys think of Father's Day? And that's what I thought. You know, there's a terrible fact that we're going to address today. I guess you could say, but we're not going to cure it. We're just going to address it. You see, because there's no way for us to cure the problem that faces this country and many countries around the world. And that's the problem of fatherlessness. And yes, that is a word. I double checked. It's not like I'm just making words up today. Now, I got a whole page of statistics right here. You see them? All sorts of really neat numbers. And they all say the same thing. Dads are important. You know what else it says? That even if Dad's available or around, sometimes he's failing. Now, why is that? Is it because dads don't know how to be a dad? No, maybe. Is it because maybe you didn't have a dad? Maybe you had nobody to learn from. Maybe your dad was home. Maybe you did have a dad in the home. You're not a single mom, kid, parent, adult. But, well, I guess those statistics just went out the window. But he wasn't a very good man. Maybe he had problems with addictions. Maybe he had problems with his temper. Maybe he had problems. Maybe he just had problems. Why do you suppose that is? Why do you suppose so many dads are failing? Why do you suppose so many dads are absent? And it comes down to one simple three-letter word: sin. It's just that simple, guys. That's the bottom line of it. Now, we could point out the tragedy that is American society because fathers have checked out. They disengaged their families. And like I said, I got a whole page of statistics, and if you punch into Google fatherlessness, you could get all sorts of stuff. You could get from an ultra-liberal perspective to an ultra-conservative perspective on the numbers as to how fathers impact the family. But to be honest, it really doesn't mean a whole lot, the statistics. We can look at them and we can say, yeah, there's a problem. But no problem has ever been solved by just looking at it and saying, yep, that's broke. How many of you guys have ever had a broken piece of equipment and just had, like the little elves, like the fairy tale cobbler would come in and make shoes overnight, just come in and fix your equipment? It doesn't just happen. You have to do something about it, right? You can't just look out there and say, boy, I sure wish my yard would get mowed. Well, it didn't get mowed. Looks like I might have to go start the mower myself and do it. It's a pandemic around the world. As most of you know, I used to be a Gideon, then I got ordained and they kicked me out because they have rules. And I used to go to the jail often on Sunday nights. Do you know what I found what the one most common thing I could talk about and get every single inmate fired up? What's your relationship with your dad like? Boy, it set those guys on fire every single time. Most of the time with nothing positive to say. Then we would ask a follow-up question. What kind of father are you? And the answers weren't any better. Now, I know this is old-fashioned what I'm going to say, and it is totally politically incorrect. And I'm okay with that Because God said, and God created man and woman. That's the way He made us for a particular purpose. That particular purpose was for family. Dad's got his roles, Mom's got her roles. Mom's got her responsibilities, Dad's got her responsibilities. Do they cross lines and blur in some cases? Yes, they do. Can a child be raised by a single parent and turn out to be a productive member of society? Yes, it can happen. But that is not the best design and best for it. The best is for Mom and Dad to both be involved, to both put into the raising of those children. But what happens in a situation when a parent checks out, disengages, leaves the family? Let's say through divorce, through addiction, through whatever reason, Mom or Dad leave. Titus 2:2 tells us, older men, be sober-minded, dignified, self-controlled, sound in faith and love, steadfastness. How does that happen? Verse 3, older women likewise, that means ladies, you get all that too, are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderous, not slaves to too much wine. They are, they are to teach what is good and to train the young women to love their husbands, to love their children, to be self-controlled, to be pure, work at home, be kind, be submissive to their own husbands, that the word of God may not be reviled. Likewise, urge the younger men to be self-controlled. Show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works. And in your teaching show integrity, dignity, and sound speech that cannot be condemned, that you may not have the opportunity to be put to shame by evil. Now as you look through that, that addresses both men and women. And it addresses older men, and it addresses older women. And it says, does it say, teach these only to your children? Is that the limitation? No, there is no limitation. It just says, older men teach the younger men. And it just says, older women teach younger women. It doesn't say that they have to be of your biological lineage. It just talks about training up those who are younger than you. Now, before we get to thinking that everybody with gray hair has all the wisdom, we're talking about spiritual age here. We're not talking about physical age so much. Is there benefit to physical age? Yes. There is a greater benefit to spiritual age. You can be, as you guys know, I just turned 50, okay? Puts me kind of right in the middle of life. It is possible for somebody to be older than me, but spiritually younger than me. I'm walking with the Lord 15, 16, 17 years now, I think. I have to do the math. And if somebody was to give their life to the Lord today who was older than me, I would spiritually be older than that person. I would be able to help guide them and shape them into the man or woman they should be. Same way with you, ladies. It's not about the physical age. And how would we go about doing something like that? How would we go about putting ourselves, our experience, our knowledge into somebody who's younger? Well, we can always look in the Old Testament because, see, there's Moses and Joshua. There's Elijah and Elisha. Maybe we can move to the New Testament and read out of Timothy or Titus like we just did. There's Paul and Timothy and Paul and Titus. You see, the Bible is full of these examples of men who took on proteges, younger men, mentored them, trained them, taught them. You see, Paul in Timothy's case is interesting because he talks about Timothy being his true son. Did Timothy have a father? Yes. Timothy's father is made mention of in the Bible. But we also understand that in that same passage, it talks about his spiritual learning came from his mother and grandmother. I'm guessing Dad may not have been that much in the picture. So what did God have Paul do? He had Paul come alongside Timothy, someone who isn't even his kid, some strange kid from down the street in some little town called Lystra, and mentor him and teach him. And you think, yeah, that's cool for the Bible. What about now? You see, so often I hear and I see men my age, younger and older, all doing the same sort of thing. You know, this next generation, they ain't good for two shakes, boy. They ain't got the sense God gave a chicken. Most of these boys these days are just dumb as sticks. Well, I have a question for you. Ain't that the same thing your dad's generation said about your generation? And his generation said about the generation before and before and before and before, all the way back to Adam and Eve? Yeah, it is. Then you might think, well, you know, they ain't going to listen to me anyway. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. So what we end up having is, we have these younger men who are thinking, man, these old guys, they don't know nothing about nothing. And we have the older guys saying, yeah, these kids don't know nothing. Man, they ain't learned a... So what we end up doing is we have two groups of men, younger men and older men, men with experience, men that need experience, all standing there doing this. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. And you know what the funny part is? They're saying the exact same thing. Did you guys get that? They're saying the same thing. They both have the same problem. They're both being stubborn. The challenge is for men of experience, men who are assured of themselves, men who have confidence, men who are walking with the Lord to say, hey, you know what, guys? We can help you out here. There are things that we can teach you. Will every young man listen? No. Does that mean you get a free pass and can say, you know what? I'm just going to write them all off. If you can find the scripture, chapter and verse, and tell me where God gives any man ever a free pass when it comes to the next generation, you bring it to my attention and we'll have a discussion about it. But to the best of my knowledge, there is no free passes, men. There are certain things that boys, teenagers, and young men can only learn from godly men. How to love your wife, how to take care of your wife, how to love your children, how to discipline your children, how to get up every single day and go to work even when you don't want to. These are things that desperately need to be taught. No, like I said, I'm not dogging on or criticizing single families. I'm really not. I've been there, done that. But there are certain things that a father impacts. God has made it very clear that the father, the man of the home, is to be a man. And the sad situation is, guys, there's not very many of them left. So what does that mean? We're going to start out with just a few little things here. How many of you can remember way back when you were boys? And I know for some of you that's a few years ago. Did any of you ever have, say, a baseball coach? Because back in those days, baseball was, well, that was it. You played baseball or football or basketball, and that was about it. How many of you remember having a coach that had a positive influence or positive impact on you? Anybody? Okay. How many of you remember having a Sunday school teacher, maybe, that had a positive impact on you? How many of you, maybe it was a pastor, maybe it was an uncle, maybe it was one of your dad's friends. Those positive impacts and those moments that you can look back on life and say, you know what, that little league coach really helped prepare me for whatever it may be. He was doing more than just teaching me to get the board out of my back to catch grounders, and how to use my mitt to shield the sun from my eyes to catch pop-ups. As Christian men, we have the responsibility to look around us for young men who need that help. It may just be temporary. It may just be for a few months. It may be a long-term mentoring style relationship. And like I said, is that going to happen every time? Is every young man you approach going to pay attention? No. Back in the late 1800s, there was a man named D.L. Moody. Have you guys ever heard of him? You know, Moody Bible Institute, Moody Evangelism. I mean, have you guys ever heard of that? Do you know how he was led to the Lord? D.L. Moody, the famous evangelist when he was 18 years old, was a boot shoe salesman at his uncle's store in Boston. His Sunday school teacher, Mr. Kimball, had a heart for him and decided he was going to win that young man to the Lord. So he goes to where he sold boots and where he was working. And Mr. Kimball chickens out. He walks by the store because he didn't want to embarrass the boy. It was. That's the same problem we have today. Sometimes we don't approach young men because we're afraid we're going to embarrass them. And so he passes by the store, but the Holy Spirit's working on him because the Lord had already gave him a heart for it. And he goes back in, and he finds him in the back, working in the stock room, putting shoes, wrapping up shoes and doing what they did then. And he talks to him about Jesus and leads him to the Lord. Now, from there, the rest is history. D.L. Moody became on fire for God. We have an entire Bible Institute because of him. Matter of fact, quite a bit of my education came from there. I mean, it's huge what happened. All because one man took the time to talk to one young man. Now, it says here that he's a Sunday school teacher. How many boys and young men did Mr. Kimball speak to? Probably tons. Probably thousands, because it's a larger city, Boston. Did all of them respond? Not like D.L. Moody did, but they all did. So what do we need to do, gentlemen? What can we do to impact that next generation? You say, well, I don't have any sons or daughters, and my kids are all raised up. Yeah, they may be, but look around. How many of you know a young man right now that needs a positive Christian role model in his life? How many? Maybe dad's there, maybe dad isn't there. Maybe dad's disengaged. Ladies, challenge the same to you. How many of you know a young lady who maybe mom's there, maybe mom's not, could use a positive Christian woman's input in her life? I imagine we all could come up with tons, stacks of people. So what do we do about it? See, because just going over the statistics, telling the story of D.L. Moody, and quoting some scripture is not going to fix it. What's going to fix it is each of us deciding that we're going to do something about it. And that something that we're going to do about it is pretty simple, guys. First thing you're going to do is you're going to start praying. Lord, show me someone I can help. Show me someone that I can have an impact on. You see, because you and I all have different personality, guys. Every single one of us are different. So I can't reach every single man in the church. You can't reach every single one. But you can reach some, a few, maybe one. I can reach a few, some, maybe one. And each time that we start praying and understanding that God's going to show me somebody, you have to trust that God's going to show you somebody, and you have to want to do it. Do you have to have any special skill? No. You just have to pray and have experience being a man. I'm looking around, I see an awful lot of gray hair. And some with no hair. So there are men here with experience. Do you have to be biblically educated? Do you have to have a seminary degree? No, you do not. You need to know how to walk with the Lord. That's it. Next thing you do, after you pray, you keep your eyes open. And then the hard part, number 4, wait. Wait for it. Wait a year for it. Wait 2 years for it. And God will show you somebody that you can be a mentor to. It may not be who you expect it to be. It may be somebody completely out of the blue. While you're waiting. Does that mean you sit around and do nothing? No. That means you continue to grow in the grace and knowledge of Jesus Christ. That means you continue to pray. That means you continue to keep your eyes open. That means you help out where you can help out. After you wait, God shows you what to do. Shows you who you can impact. Whether you impact that young man for 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years, or 50 years. No matter how long that lasts. You continue to pour yourself into him. You give him that advice he needs. You give him the benefit of your wisdom and your experience. You see, I'm looking around here and I see a lot of guys who have a PhD from the School of Hard Knocks. You didn't get that gray hair. You didn't get that thinning hair from not walking and working and growing in the Lord. That is something as an education that is irreplaceable. I don't care how many books you've read. If you don't have life experience, you don't have much. And you can take that life experience and you can pour it into the next generation, whether it's your sons or somebody else's sons, and help them to grow. You see, guys, whether you like it or not, you are the standard by which your daughters are going to gauge their husbands. You are the standard by which your young men grow to be full-size men. They're going to do it one of two ways. They're going to be just like dad, or the exact opposite of that. That's how it's going to happen. When the Christian men come in, we come in and we help. You see, because not every dad is going to connect with this kid. Not every dad's going to stay at home. Not every dad's going to be engaged. That's why we have a youth group here on Sunday evenings. It's to help kids to grow in that grace and knowledge of the Lord. It's to help shape that next generation. You see, if you're complaining about the next generation of men coming up being no good, you're about as good as this Monday morning quarterback sitting in his armchair. It's just hot air. We have to be determined to do something about it. Now you may ask, well, what's in it for me? I hate to answer that question, but there's a lot that's in it for you. One of the things is you get a renewed life and a renewed purpose. Because now you have something to live for and someone to live for. The second thing is, believe it or not, accountability. Because I know that if a younger man is coming to me for advice and coming to me for help, I'm going to do my best to be my best and to do my best so that I don't lead him astray. So you get a new purpose. You get that renewed accountability. You get a benefit of seeing that book. And if you've ever led a Sunday school class, taught in school, done anything like that, I call it the aha moment. It's when that student goes, oh, I get it. The aha moment. That's the best. And if you don't engage the next generation, you don't get that. Guys, families are falling apart around us. We have generations of young men who've never had positive role models. If I remember correctly, wasn't it Jesus that said, go, reach and teach? So don't you think maybe we should? Let's pray. Lord, there's a great epidemic, and it's not lost on you. You've given us huge ministry opportunity. And that's to help shape the next generation, to help grow men and women, to help them, Lord. And it's not easy. And you know it's not easy. You took on those 12 disciples and one of them stabbed you in the back. Adam and Eve failed you, Lord. You know exactly how difficult it is. But we also know, Lord, that with you, all things are possible. That any man, any young woman can turn their life around because of a godly person. The Holy Spirit in your word. It's unstoppable, Lord. Lord, I pray that you would continue to use us to be a blessing, as we always pray. But Lord, help us to go just beyond our walls. Help us to go just beyond what's right here. Help us, Lord, to be that church, that body of believers that have strong Christian men who are willing to get their hands a little dirty to help the next generation of men come upright. In Jesus' name, amen. Y'all stand for our last song.